Hello, my name is Aurelian Murray. This is a continuation of the presentation series on the virtual attendance system. So I'm going to go over the shortcomings and wish list of our system. So the first shortcoming of our system would be for both the volunteer and school personnel dashboards. If they haven't been assigned to a team yet, or there hasn't been a team assigned to that specific school, then the current system has nothing displayed. So if I go in as just a regular volunteer at the moment, as you can see, this volunteer Ari, which is myself, has been assigned to Calusa Elementary School. This is the team they've been assigned to. But for school personnel, if you log in and there hasn't been a team assigned to it yet, as you can see, this screen is empty. There's nothing showing up, and ideally we should have some sort of message showing saying something to the extent of there hasn't been a team assigned to you yet, your school hasn't been assigned a team, something to that extent. So that's one of our shortcomings. The second shortcoming would be for admins. The calendar should only display active teams. So if I log in as an administrator, let's go to Jerry Smith. This administrator, as you can see, there's a calendar. There's a nice little calendar that goes around here. But unfortunately, at the moment, all the teams you see on these days, the Monday, for example, shows all of the teams regardless of whether the team is active or not. So if you go to the teams, as you can see, the ones that I can't edit are the ones that are no longer active. And ideally, if you go to the dashboard, and the calendar shouldn't display the non-active teams. So that is another shortcoming. And another shortcoming would be volunteers and school personnel should be able to change their account passwords. So at the moment, only the administrator can go in and edit a specific user and change the password. So this goes for all types of users, so volunteers. If I want to go to Nick Smith, only the administrator can change the password. But ideally, if I log in as Ari again, in the profile, this user should be able to click edit and then have some sort of steps to change the password, and then also the administrator should be able to reset their password if they forget the password or something like that. So those are the shortcomings for the project. In terms of wish list, it would be nice if there's a check-in and check-out feature to track the volunteers' attendance. So the project is called Volunteer Attendance System. So ideally, we should be keeping note of which volunteer has gone to volunteer on a particular day. So for example, Ari right here, he's scheduled for Tuesdays and Thursdays. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m., there should be a button that pops up saying check-in. And then once the 4 o'clock passes, they can check out. Another feature would also be to RSVP, so that administrators and school personnel are aware of which students will be volunteering and making sure that someone will show up on a particular day, because there have been cases where no one shows up and no one knows anything. So it would be nice if there was some sort of feature to know whether or not they're going. Another feature would be keeping records of past volunteers and their previous participations at schools. At the moment, everything is not really record-based. If I change an entry, if I go to volunteer, if I go to administrator, sorry. If I change something, it changes it permanently. So if we can have some sort of record, so if I change something, maybe have another page where we have past entries, that would be nice for record keeping. Always going back and checking things out. Another feature would be an inbuilt messaging system so that users do not have to leave the application. So at the moment, as you can see, if I go to go back to this volunteer, I have contact information, but every time this volunteer has to contact them via text message, it'd be nice if there was some sort of feature where you can message them directly. You can click message, and then they don't have to leave the application, and everything is inbuilt. That'd be nice. And lastly, one of the features that would be nice is if I go to the, this is the local installation, but if I go to the actual deployed application here, every time I log in, it tells me it's not secure. That's a given because we're on HTTP. protocol. It'd be nice if we can change that from HTTP to HTTPS. That would make it more secure, and that involves talking to the FIU administrator, network administrator, and they would be able to obtain this SSL certificate and do everything necessary to make it more secure. So that concludes the wish list and the shortcomings of this project. Thank you for tuning in.